Welcome to Gamer Muscle videos. On your screen right now, be it a monitor, a mobile phone, or perhaps some luxury aeroplane first class seat screen, is footage from the latest beta version of Raceroom Racing Experience. And obviously you can see that we're wearing the Oculus, we're wearing the HTC Vive, and we are indeed recording virtual reality gameplay. And that's the impetus for this video, in that the latest update to Raceroom that will come out on Tuesday of next week, hopefully, assuming nothing happens wrong, but supposedly Tuesday next week, the latest update has a monumental, titanic improvement to the VR support in the game. Now, you might remember a bit back we first looked at the VR support in Raceroom, and it was a nice first attempt, given that the game is in DirectX 9, but it did suffer from a lack of 3D at the edge of the screen, or when things moved fast they went 2D, which was very weird. The depth was a little bit wonky, shall we say, so it felt as if you just had Pastor Maldonado's car in your face, which some might argue adds to the realism. And lastly, it required you to rent the CIA's spy mainframe computer to get a bog standard frame rate from the game, and even then it would stutter. So it was an introduction to VR in Raceroom, showed that they were trying to put it on the plate, but Gordon Ramsay had a word with them, told them that it was raw, and indeed they've gone back to the kitchen. They've been brewing away, but I don't know why they're brewing. They've been cooking away in the kitchen, and they've now moved from a kitchen nightmare to a 2-star Michelin response. We're talking fancy food here. Basically, the game now runs at an acceptable frame rate. We're running on our i7-6700K GTX 1070, and that's allowed us to put the track details on medium, some car shadows on, the general shadows at medium, the shaders on medium, and just the textures on high, and just have it so basically you can take advantage of the densely packed nature of the tracks in Raceroom, which is one of the nice things with Raceroom, is that the tracks actually feel very alive and full, and it runs now without too many issues. It does stutter occasionally. It's not completely flawless. They haven't got their 3 Michelin stars, as I say, but compared to the previous version, it's almost 3 times as optimized, and is more than comfortable and practical to actually play regularly now. Gamer muscle coming through. That's an unconventional T1 overtake there. I've always felt that it's important to have a lot of tools in your toolbox when it comes to overtaking cars in racing games. But aside from the raw performance improvements, the 3D and the stereo separation is massively improved. I've not noticed any issues with it going 2D at the edges of the screen, but we've also got the option now in game, as you can see on the screen. It's probably not that clear due to the way that the VR is recorded, but you can actually manually change the separation value, which will affect the scale effect of the game. It's sort of how far apart your eyes are, if you will. Be quite a cool feature to have in reality. If you wanted everything to feel rather big or rather small, you could sort of stretch your eyes out. But it's nice to have that in the game because it does allow you to tweak it. And a really good thing with having this option is if you're going to play with the Oculus Rift, which I haven't tested yet, but I will test with this game. The Oculus Rift and the HTC Vive do scale slightly differently because of, I guess it's their lens configuration, how the drivers are set up for the screens and everything with the VR headsets. Having the game allow you to change that separation will allow you to tweak that scale and get it spot on for your given headset. You might have noticed if you play Assetto Corsa with the Vive instead of the Rift, for example, the scale is a little bit too small with the Vive, whereas it's spot on with the Rift because it's not using OpenVR, it's native, it's using Revive. So as I say, that's really nice to have that as a feature in the game, and it allows you to dial it in so things feel a lot more natural and a lot more comfortable. Another nice thing that will be coming in the update is the ability to hold down the menu button on the Vive controller at the start, and you can then select reset seating position, which will put the screen, or the game, the 2D menu component of the game, right bang smack in the centre of your view, which is really handy for me because my sim rig is outside of my normal chaperone play space, and by default the game sticks its window on one of the walls of your chaperone play space. So if you do have your sim rig in the corner, you can just do this and you've got the screen there, and it works really nicely, and it's just a nice little feature, well thought out. You might think, actually that's the kind of thing that you would just expect by default. Well, so would I, but if you've tried playing games like Trackmania Turbo, apparently not. Apparently it's not. So good job by Sector 3 for actually thinking about these things. Outside of the steady and surefire improvements to VR, of course, Raceroom is Raceroom. I mean, always say this, some of the best sounds in sim racing, different tyre scrub sounds, the engine noises. You have to check out the 90s DTM cars. They're absolutely incredible. Take them around Bathurst in VR and you're gonna be drooling from excitement. In VR you can especially feel when the tyres are on the limit and you're sort of balancing it, and you've got that point where you're playing with the car on the limit, and on Bathurst on the downhill section, what I like to call the Australian ski slope. Basically, instead of snow they just have spiders and kangaroos that you drive over. It's just incredible, fantastic experience. Those of you that don't want to buy into Raceroom because you're penny pinchers, or you're not a shill like me who's been given access to the beta and doesn't have to pay anything, you can check out cars for free by just going on the website, and you can drive any of the cars. You can't choose the track, I don't think, but you can check out all the cars. You can see if there's something there you want to buy, or you know, if there's anything that tickles your fancy. And also worth noting is that they do a pack where you basically get everything in the game now. I think it's for about €60. I'll have to double check that. I'll put it in the video description. But basically, you can now buy all the content in Raceroom for a similar price as what you'd pay for a normal game, which is a huge improvement over previously, where they tried to just nickel and dime you. They were like a little Fagin on the street. You've got to pick a pocket or two. And personally, I'm the type of person that just likes to buy things outright. I don't like bit by bit buying. Though technically, if you're buying any digital content, you're bit by byte buying. I don't know. But all in all, we've just gone off the rails again. All in all, absolutely fantastic update coming on Tuesday to Raceroom Racing Experience. We'll be doing a separate video on setting up for VR, the launch options, and what settings in game will work well for getting the most out of it, depending on your spec system. All the details, we'll probably do another video on how to set up force feedback and all that stuff, because I know a lot of people that are into VR aren't necessarily into sim racing, so it's good to sort of ease people into these things. So thank you for watching this though. I hope you found it enjoyable, informative, useful, and vaguely amusing. If you did, don't forget to click the subscribe button. It's on the screen there, and as always, it makes you incredibly gorgeous and sexy. If you do click the subscribe button, click the like button, and shoot any questions in the comments below the video if you feel like it. Until the next video, goodbye everybody.